This is the first episode of Agent of Happiness, and the topic is how to live a happy life amidst the coronavirus. Well, first of all, I'd like to state that a lot has happened in between. You see many more people getting affected due to coronavirus. Where once we switch on the news channels, we get to see many more people losing their life. And a lot happened in between. For example, the super cyclone in West Bengal and Kolkata. So there is hopelessness everywhere around us. In this situation, whether living a happy life is a myth, well, let us find out. If I have to, point out the major differences that we are having as compared to the life which we used to have before the coronavirus, and right now when we are practicing self-quarantine, I can identify the 4 major points. Point A is lockdown. The government is practicing lockdown, and all the public places from schools and colleges, offices, restaurants, clubs, everything is shut down. Point number B is self-quarantine, which we are practicing. So here what we are doing, we are keeping ourselves inside our home. We are practicing self-quarantine. We are not going out. Point number C is whenever we switch on the news channels or whenever we read something online, every time we get to see how many more people getting affected, how many more people dying. So once we see this news, this creates a lot of tension in us. We keep on worrying that what is happening. The news around us is not good, it's not bright. So this is point number C, which is a major change. And point number D, or the last point, is the worries that we have for our future. Many of us are unemployed. People who are employed, they're thinking, when will they have the next promotion? Whether they are going to get the full remuneration. Even businessmen, they're thinking about their business. So we are worried about our future. So these are the major 4 points, the major differences that we have in our lifestyle during the coronavirus. So now let us address one point at a time. Point number A, government practicing lockdown. So what is this major difference which is happening? All the public places are shut down. Is it that we are facing this for the first time in our life? Well, I think there has been situations where many public places were shut down because of something or the other. For example, our favorite shopping mall got shut down because of repair work. The market got closed because of a natural calamity. So if we have to find out, from the recent past, we will see that all these public places, sometime or the other, they were shut down because of some reason or the other. The only difference is now all of them are shut down altogether. But in the past, whenever one of the public places got shut down, we always had the option of going to other public places. Now this is the first time where we are seeing that all the public places are shut down once at a time. So can we overcome this? Can we have a better feeling about it? Yes, we can. If we start feeling that these public places are going through a repair work. It's like nature is going through a repair work. So for example, that is the reason why all these public places are shut down for the time being. Now once this repair work completes, then we can again come out of our respective homes and go to these public places and enjoy our life. Point number B is self-quarantine, which we are practicing. Obviously, we are worried about our well-being. So we are also very much scared that we should not get affected of this coronavirus. So what we are doing, we are putting at our home. We are not going out. Now, if we have to think about this, how can we think that this is just for the time being, and this is not the first time that we are doing this. We have heard about several animals who have practiced self-quarantine throughout their lives. For example, the polar bears. So if you talk about the polar bears in the polar regions, you see that they have this lifestyle wherein they go out and eat voraciously for a few months in every year. After that, what they do, they go back and they lock themselves inside their cave, and they do not come out for many months. They stay there without food and water. That is called hibernation, right? So if the polar bears, they are doing it throughout their life, every year, we as human beings, we consider ourselves as a superior species. So we as human beings, can't we do it for a few months? Yes, we are doing it. Probably this has happened for the first time in our lifetime. But well, if we have to consider history, human beings are not practicing self-quarantine for the first time. It has happened many times before. For example, I'll just mention here a fact which was shared by one of my father's friends. I call him an uncle, Anando uncle. So he once shared a very important artifact with me, where he mentioned the case of Bubonic plague, or the Black Death, which was there many years ago, 1450 probably. So this has happened in Venice in Italy, wherein because of this Black Death, because of this widespread bubonic plague, and people were getting affected because of this. So there was this practice where they asked all the sailors. During those days, people used to travel from one country to the other through ships. So all the sailors who are visiting Venice, or all the sailors who were visiting Italy, they were asked to stay in self-isolation for 40 days in a deserted ship, which was away from the bay or the harbor. So it was probably the first time when people started practicing, self-isolation. And in Latin, quaranto euro, which means 40 days of isolation, 40 days. So from there, from quaranto came the term quarantine. So human beings have done this before. Even let us talk about, we have known from history that we have done it before, but now if we consider the stories, or maybe the religious artifacts, we have found that many more times there has been stories wherein people have practiced quarantine. For example, in Bible, we have read about Noah and his ark, that how for 40 days God brought rain and flood, and the water level it increased and it covered the surface of the earth, and Noah had to keep himself and some different species of other animals inside his ark, inside his boat, for 40 days, after which the water level came down and again they came out. So you see, even in history we get to know about the act of self-quarantine. So this is not the first time we are doing it. So if we have this kind of feeling that even animals do it every year, and they are not doing it because of coronavirus, they do it every year, so why can't we do it for once? Yes, probably many more months, we have to keep on practicing it for quite some more months, but we can do it. Point number C, as I mentioned, is the news channels. Every time we get to see the news that more people are getting affected and more people are dying, so it creates a very sad atmosphere around us. We keep on thinking, why is this happening? We feel for them who are getting affected. But we also have to keep one thing in our mind, that if we get affected, then the morale gets down, and once we are feeling sad, we cannot have a happy life. And if we are not happy, then the chances of illness becomes more. People around us, our family, will get affected looking at us. So if we cannot switch on the news switch off the news channel, we need to get the news, right? But then we have to practice doing something, which is we have to understand what is the difference between planning and worrying. We are seeing the news, we are seeing people getting affected, but if we start worrying about it, if we start feeling that, oh my God, what is going to happen? Probably someday I might get affected, I might die, my loved ones might die, then this is going to be very difficult for us to sustain life. Even if we don't die out of coronavirus, we will die of sadness, and which is not at all expected. As I mentioned, there's a difference between worrying and planning. We have to stop worrying and we have to start planning. Am I not scared of coronavirus? Yes, I am. I'm also scared of coronavirus. But I'm planning. I'm listening to the measures, the safety measures taken by our government. I am looking, I'm constantly updating myself on on the steps which are being mentioned by WHO, World Health Organization. So I'm practicing all that to stay out of the danger of coronavirus. There are certain steps which they have mentioned. For example, sanitization, for example, keeping our hands clean, for example, wearing masks whenever we need to go out, and we need to stop ourselves from going out every now and then till the time there is actually a need. So if we can follow all these measures, then we will never get affected of coronavirus. So we have to plan instead of worrying. The fourth point which I mentioned is the worries that we have for our future. After this coronavirus, or even during the coronavirus, there are many who are losing their jobs. Many of us are thinking that when we are going to get our next remuneration, or whether the remuneration is going to be the right amount or maybe a deducted one. Even businessmen are thinking how to revive their business, because many businesses are shut down because of this lockdown. So these are the worries that we have about the future, that how economy is going to react because of this coronavirus. So how to earn money, how to have a sustained life, how to take care of my family. Well, let me tell you something here. Human beings are a superior species. There is only one thing which is constant, and that is change. So we have evolved through time. Initially, the time was different, but later on, there are many changes which are happening in our life because of technology, because of socio-political situations, and we have successfully survived all this long. Okay, we have successfully adapted ourselves to these changes, and believe me, we are going to sustain our life even post this crisis. All we have to do is we have to keep a calm mind, we have to remain healthy, we have to have the hope. See, we will die only once. There is no point in dying every time, every minute. We took birth once, we have this life once. This is one life that we have got, and someday we are going to exit. Someday we are going to die. All of us are going to die. I am also going to die. And now I don't know whether I'm going to die now, or I'm going to die tomorrow, or maybe 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later. But someday I'm going to die. But I cannot die every minute thinking of it, that when I'm going to die, what will happen if I die? Then if I keep on doing that, then I'm not enjoying my life. I am not living in the present. Whenever this has to happen, it will happen. How many more deaths you are going to die before the final one? So we have to stop worrying about it, and we have to start planning and developing ourselves. There are certain things which we can do during this lockdown, and I have identified quite a few. So this will ensure that we have a very happy life. So I'll just mention these points, because these are helping me, and I am sure if you follow this, these are very simple points actually. If you start following them, you're going to enjoy your quarantine life as well. So the first point is working from home without distraction. So you see, many of us are working from home, but we always tend to miss our office. The reason being, even we are working from home, we are not having the same kind of feeling that we used to have while we were working in our office. So it's like a home is a home. So probably I'm not giving my full attention. For example, I have switched on my laptop, or maybe I am working over phone, and something is coming up, and I'm just avoiding that call in order to do that particular work. Now we have to create an office atmosphere inside our home. So maybe we are working for 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours a day. So during these 8 hours, we have to build our home in such a way that will give us a feeling that we are inside our office itself. And that depends completely on you. It can be done. It is not that a difficult task. So once we start doing this, we will have a feeling that we are in our office itself. We might be physically in our home, but a particular portion of our home can be converted into office to give us this feeling. So this is point one, working from home without any kind of distraction. Point number two is exercise. Now people are talking a lot about exercise. Now we have to remember one thing, that once I'm talking about exercise, I'm not actually asking you to build up six-pack abs. Okay, I'm not asking you to go for heavy exercises. If you want, you can certainly do it. But for people like us, an exercise is an activity to burn the calories so that we don't gather fat, so that we are active in our life. So little exercise can be a free hand, can be yoga, because that has got an effect not only on our body but on our mind as well. A very simple exercise is dancing. Yes, it might be very funny, but you can actually play a track and dance, and no one is going to judge you on your dancing skills. I'm a great fan of Michael Jackson, so if I start dancing, no one is going to judge me or compare me with Michael Jackson. I don't want to get compared with him. So it's like inside, I'm always dancing. So this movie called Inside I'm Dancing. So you must have this feeling that once you're dancing, you're not only taking care of your body, you're not only having a fit body, but at the same time, you're having a fit mind, a healthy mind. So this is point number 2, which can be done. Number 3 is to do something creative. You see, there is another point associated with it. We have to start doing something creative, because that has got a particular engagement. So it's like we will have a certain kind of mindset to be creative. So once we start creating something, we not only take our mind away from all these crises, but we also start appreciating our intelligence. So being creative can be drawing a picture, maybe painting, someone who can write good poetry. You think that you had this knack of writing poetry during your school days or college days, can actually write something. You can write something on the blogs, right? So you can design a particular place in your home. For example, you can weave something, you can design something online, you can design your interior, maybe changing the furniture a little bit, that will change your mood, right? You can, for people who doesn't like to write something, you can make your own videos, right? You can cook something and make a video like I am doing right now. So these are nothing but your creative angles, and your creative angle is getting satisfied, which means you are having satisfaction, which means you have a calm mind as well as body. So do something creative, which is the third point which I suggested. The 4th maybe, which I mentioned, outlet of emotions. Let us understand why is it that the lockdown or the self-quarantine is affecting us. Because we always have this feeling that we need an outlet for our emotions. We are happy, we are sad, maybe something is bothering us, maybe we want to complain about something, we want to share a success story or a failure story. So why is it that we used to go out of our home and go for parties, or maybe going and visiting our friend's place, hanging out with our friends? Why we did this? Because we needed an outlet of our emotion. We need to show our emotion somewhere. We need to share our emotion with someone. So this outlet of emotions can be done through this creative work. It is not that every time we have to share an emotion, we will say it with our friend. Obviously, we can always talk to them over phone, but if we can convert our emotions into something creative, that gives us a success, a feeling of success, that we have won. Okay, a part of me has won. So this is another point, outlet of emotion. So whatever might be your outlet of emotion, you have to find out what gives you solace, what gives you peace, mental peace. So this is another point, outlet of emotions. The next is video calls and chats. Well, this is very common, I guess. Many of you are already doing it. So if I have got a friend, I'm actually doing a video chat with him or her, or maybe doing a video call with him or her. And we are having a feeling that as if I'm meeting this person in his place, or he has come down to my place. See, the difference is just a screen which is in front of you. Other than that, you have the same kind of feeling. You get to see your friend, you get to see his emotions, his expressions, okay, the way he or she is talking to you, the way you are talking to him or her. That gives a wonderful feeling. So video chats, video calls actually gives us the similar kind of feeling. I won't say same kind of feeling, but a similar kind of feeling, that you are meeting this person and you're hanging out, right? So you can go for video calls and video chats. The next point is a very important thing, which is called a help is a help. Now you see, so many people are getting affected. I was getting these queries from many of my friends who were discussing this with me. You see, people who are not that privileged, many of them have lost their home because of the super cyclone. Many of them got affected of coronavirus. Their family, they don't know how to take care of their families. You see, many laborers, they don't know how to earn money. So in such a case, our heart goes out for them and we really try to help. But then we are also worried that with the limited amount of money which we have, which we are saving for this crisis, because I might not have a job, or I might not be earning the same kind of money which I used to earn. So there is a little bit of insecurity with us. Our heart goes out for people who are less privileged. We want to help them out, but at times we stop ourselves because we don't know what is going to be in the future. And probably we want to help them with certain amount of money or buying certain products, but then we shy away because we have this feeling what society will think. The society probably giving an X amount of money will be considered as a help. And if I cannot give that money because I don't have that amount of savings, probably society is going to think that I'm just making a mockery of the system. Please understand, a help is a help. It doesn't have a limit. It doesn't have a lower limit. It doesn't have an upper limit. You really want to help someone with something, it can be a monetary help. It might not be a monetary help. You can even wish someone. You can even go and tell them that I am with you. Call them and say, I know this has happened, but I am with you. Any problem, you just give me a call and I'll be there. So a help is a help. A mere wish, a mere prayer is also a help. If you help someone, automatically it will give you a lot of positive feeling that you are doing your part for the society. Okay, you are doing your part for your friends, and you are a responsible human being. Whatever way it can be, you giving away some of your t-shirts or maybe some of your dresses. However you want to help someone, even if it's an amount of money and it's a very trivial amount, please do not shy away from helping. The society is not going to dictate what is the amount of a help. A help doesn't have an amount. So that's why this is the other point. A help is a help. The next is you can do something. You can learn how to cook better. If you already know how to cook, so you can learn some more dishes. YouTube has got free tutorials wherein you will get to experiment with food. So you can people who doesn't know how to cook, you can actually learn how to cook. People who already knows how to cook, so you can actually learn better ways of cooking, or maybe you can learn cooking some more delicious dishes which you didn't know before. So this is another very creative wing that we can learn. We can utilize this time to learn how to cook. The next point is playing games with friends. Now you see there are several kinds of games. For example, there might be puzzles, there might be board games. Okay, PUBG is very popular nowadays. Well, I'm not promoting any such game as in go and start putting your time for PUBG. It's not like that. But I can find out some time in my daily routine which I'll devote in playing games with my friends, because that will give me happiness. The most important thing right now is to stay happy. Whatever gives you happiness without disturbing others. So this is another point, playing games with friends. Next is to learn something new, which is again, I think, a very important point. I did talk about future worries, okay, that after the pandemic, how the economy is going to behave. So this is a time where you should utilize this time to learn something new. Learn a new language. Learn a new trait which you never knew before. Learn a new technology which will help you in your job or in your business. Learn a new strategy. Okay, you can attend several online courses which are there. You can read several kinds of books, which is basically the next point, reading. So you can read blogs, you can read stories, you can read history, you can get a lot of information during this time. So reading is another point. Learning something new is another point. We can consider doing this. The next is meditate and reflect. Our life had been really, really fast. We never had time for anyone. We never had time to think what happened with us in the past. What are the things which worked out? What are the things which didn't work out? What are the success points? What are the points of failure? Why this failure happened? So this is the time. Nature is giving us time to think and reflect whatever has happened in our past, so that we can learn from these mistakes and we can go ahead and do not commit the same kind of mistakes in future. So this is the time to reflect, guys. So we can actually sit back, we can think what has happened, we can reflect what has happened already with us, so that we can have a better life, a more successful life once this period gets over. So we are preparing for our future. The next is making new friends online. Well, I'd like to share here a story. I have a friend, and I was talking to him some times back. He loves to conduct parties at his home. So he was just asking me what is happening, because there has been I am not having any parties in my home because of this quarantine, and I am feeling sad. And we were discussing a few points. So I just mentioned him, this is the time to build up inventories. So make new friends online. New friends doesn't mean only friends. It can be a new business contact for you. So keep on doing your public relation. Reach out to people. Talk to them. Okay? Make friends with them. This will help in your business. Even if you're not doing it for your business, make friendship with new people. Understand, like you, the person whom you want to reach out, this person also has a lot of time. He or she is also looking for some association, some friendship. So this is the time wherein we reach out and make new friendships, so that once the period gets over, our life will be far, far better. We will have several addresses to go to. We can hang out with these new friends along with our old friends. So reach out to people and make new friends. It might be through various processes. Next is organizing and optimizing the space and furniture, which I already mentioned. You see, I was talking about creativity, creating something new. So it might be altering your furniture which is already there. So probably in my room, the bed was on the right side and the cupboard was on the left side. So what I did, I just altered the furniture. The bed came to the left side, the cupboard moved on to the center, or to the right side of the room. So change your furniture, alter your furniture to give you another mood. It will kill your boredom, right? You can also do some little bit of interior designing as well. People who are interior designers, well, they are masters in this. People like us who are not interior designers, what we can do is we can create little things which might give us a different kind of a feel. So this is another point which we can do. The next is, well, I don't have to teach about this. I think already many of us are doing this, which is watching stuff online. So you see there are several channels. You see Netflix, YouTube. You go for Hotstar. Well, I'm not actually promoting any of them, but I am a big fan of all these media, because I am watching a lot of online movies, online web series, so I'm keeping myself busy. We also do a post analysis after watching every series. All right, so you have a time to devote on these aspects. Okay, learning new things, reaching out to people, making new friends, building up your business contacts, watching stuff online, exercising, dancing. Okay, and altering your furnitures, learning something new, maybe a new language, doing something creative, learning a particular trade. All these will keep you busy, and you will have a very busy and happy life. Yes, it is important to keep on updating yourself on the latest news which is coming up, but please do not let it affect you. Stop worrying and start planning. As I mentioned, this is not the first crisis which human as a race is facing. There are many more fights which are left, and for that you need to be motivated and upbeat. So this is the first episode of Agent of Happiness comes to an end with this. I'd like to wish all of you all the very best. If you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe and press the like button or the subscribe button which is below this video. And you're most welcome to write a comment if you like it. If there are certain things which you want to change about it, if any suggestions which you have, please go ahead and do it. Have a happy life, friends. Bye bye.